Well, hi, everybody. I'm Leon Thomas, one of the hosts of Checking In. Our co host, Miranda Kitterlin Lynch, won't be here today. It's up to me running it as a solo act, but we're still going to have a great conversation. Just want to remind you, you can listen to episodes of Checking In on your favorite podcast platform. You can also watch them on YouTube and Miranda's LinkedIn and my LinkedIn and my Facebook and all over the place. And if you want to be a guest on the show, you can send me an email. My email address is leon at theleonthomasgroup.com, or you can contact Miranda and contact her just by searching her name. She has a searchable name, right? Leon Thomas, yes, it's searchable, but there's a Leon Thomas, a musician, a music artist that's out there now. Then it's also an older Leon Thomas who's a trumpet player. And speaking of trumpet, I have one. What? No, you don't want to hear me play. I'm just saying, I had, yes, that's a new horn. That's not the old one, the one you've been seeing before. That's a new horn because I'm taking trumpet lessons to play trumpet with the kids at William Packer Elementary School starting in the fall. William Pack is a school in Baltimore. So again, if you want to get in touch with us, if you know someone that wants to be on the show or you want to be on the show, send me an email. That's Leon at the Leon Thomas Group, or you can search Miranda's name and contact her. All right, let's bring our guest on today. For today, I'm looking forward to this great conversation with an old friend. Hello, Travis. How are you?
Good morning, Leon. How are you?
Well, folks, our guest is Travis Breen. And Travis, I'm doing well. And the way we handle it here on Checking In, we let you introduce yourself. So tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, good morning. First and foremost, I'm a good friend of Leon's for many, many years. Worked together over 20 years ago at this point and have kept in touch ever since. Been in hospitality for 25 years, love the business. Currently, I'm the director of sales, marketing, and events at the Hyatt Centric in Austin, Texas. Previous to that, I've been in all kinds of positions in the hospitality industry, VP positions, director positions, front desk, housekeeping, engineering, restaurant. Absolutely love the business. I also teach a course at Point Park University in Pittsburgh, an online hospitality course. And just love the business and all the places it's taken me, all the people I've gotten to meet. And what I'm really enjoying now is coaching my current team and developing some people who really want to learn about sales, marketing, and the commercial side of our business, and just where this industry can take you. So, and Leon and I definitely work together at the grassroots level, so we've had a lot of fun doing it, and I think smiles never really left our face, even during some of the more difficult times of our business.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We definitely smiled through a lot. I mean, maybe not in the moment, not in the moment, but shortly after we had some good, great laughs, great laughs. So Travis, you've done a lot in the business, and when you and I worked together at the BWI airport at a hotel near the BWI airport, I knew, I said, this guy, he's going to be big. He's going to do some great things, and you've gone on to do that. So I'm just really happy for all the success that you're having, and will continue to have. So right on to you,
Thank you.
Travis. So tell us this. Map us through kind of what you've done. Pick some of the key stops in your career, right? I know that I think you attended Gettysburg College, right? And then kind of map us out for a couple of minutes. You went from there to there. You don't have to hit all the stops, but talk about some of those stops in between, which led you to where you are now.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the foundation really started while I was at Gettysburg College. I went and worked at a Days Inn in Gettysburg, which is where I met John Delosier, who Leon and I both worked with, and talked to him about my aspirations in the business. And at that time, I was going to school to be in political science and Japanese. I wanted to work for the State Department. And after a year working in the hotel business, it got into my blood, and I really just loved every minute of it. So by the time I got out of school, I had 4 years of experience working in hotels, and I was getting callbacks from hotels. I wasn't getting callbacks from anybody else. so so naturally it was I decided it, but it was also decided for me in a way.
Uh-huh.
So I went from working with the Days Inn to actually working overseas for a short period of time. I went and did an international program and worked at the Fitzpatrick Castle Hotel in Dublin, Ireland, and that was primarily in the food and beverage space, where I learned a lot about how to serve tables properly and how to work in the back of the house in the restaurant. Scrubbed a lot of dishes, and but had the opportunity to do it in a fun place and travel
Yeah.
around a little bit. And then from there, went to work in Washington D.C. in a sales capacity and started to learn different aspects of the sales side of the business. Started out as a business travel sales manager, learned group as well, and then joined Kimpton Hotels. Spent a decade with them, moving in different areas as a director of sales and marketing, area director of sales and marketing. Took me to a lot of cities, primarily it was Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Boston, um, and just really enjoyed working in the lifestyle side of the business and growing teams and leading commercial aspects of the business. Went to a smaller company in Washington, D.C., a real estate developer called Modus Hotels. They're still in the business now, great company, and got my master's degree in real estate development at that time. Had a real interest in developing hotels. And right around the time that I was about to graduate, the global pandemic happened, and nobody was building anything.
Uh-huh.
So went back into the commercial side of the business, and then had an opportunity to work for a company called Yotel Global Company, working with the micro hotel business. Great experience, met some great people, had some great opportunities globally, and now where I am is I work for a company called Hyatt Hotel Corporation, very large, fourth or fifth largest operator in the world. And I'm at the Hyatt Centric Austin in Austin, Texas. Really fun market for me, a new market for me. Have a great team. And, the Hyatt Centric, we have 246 keys, and we're right in the heart of downtown Austin. We're focused on selling to the business travelers, also leisure market coming into Austin. We have an outdoor social club called the Heyday Social Club, which really features an amazing cocktail list. And we just recently got done hosting the ATX Film Festival, which was great. Had the cast of Mad Men and some other shows that everybody would know there, and just have a really hungry and enthusiastic team, and have really enjoyed working with Hyatt Hotels. I just think the development programs are great. They're good people doing hospitality, and I'm happy to be part of it.
And Travis, I can tell just number one from knowing you, but also listening to you talk about the experiences that you've had, you're going to be great at building that team, right? And I can see even the folks that you're working with now, they're going to go on and do some great things simply because they have you as their leader, and you're so always into people and trying to help people and want people to grow. So I see that happening for you. Yeah, some good things are going to happen for them. So
And
right, right
I
on.
know that's why you and I always were aligned so well, because we always put people first. It's sort of people, then the process and the technology. And I think we always understood that it's a people business, and not just in the guests checking into the hotels, but primarily the associates that we work with. And if you take care of your people, and then your people take care of your guests, then your ownership is going to be taken care of. And I think that's that three-legged stool we used to always talk about. And um, there's nothing more at this point in my career that I love than watching people grow and develop in the business. At this point, I'm very proud to say that people that have worked with me, I have 18 directors of sales and marketing,
Wow.
one VP of sales, multiple sales coordinators have gone on to become sales managers, and quite a few GMs. And that's really
Wow.
what gets me going, is how do I help somebody formulate a plan that's going to take them where they want to go. And I'm really enjoying that. And I know that goes back to our time together working at the old Country Inn and Suites back in 2005.
Man, was
And
it that long ago?
oh man, it is. I don't know
Oh,
how.
wow.
I don't know where the time has
What?
gone, but 20 years ago at this point, Leon, if you can believe it.
Oh my goodness. So now when you get old, you start to look at things and remember how old your children were, right? So Joel was 7 then. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I
Oh
remember.
my.
Absolutely.
And folks,
Absolutely.
Joel is my youngest son. He's a writer, and he also in asset management for a condominium. in a management company. But wow, 20 years ago, man, and we had some fun times there too. I mean, BWI is a tough market, and we had a blast there. I can remember some stories, and we'll talk about some. Um, I'll go ahead and ask one question right now. You got the shirts? You got the
I've got the
shirts?
shirts. I've got the shirts. I left them with Jared Conway, but yeah, I still have somewhere the original opening shirt from the 1 year anniversary shirt. Now I think there's holes in it from various moves and puppies chewing on it and things like that. But I think I still have the shirt somewhere.
You have it. You have it, folks. Travis and I were running this hotel, um, and they didn't have a grand opening, so to speak. So we put together one for like the birthday, the first anniversary of the hotel, and I was in charge of getting shirts, and I screwed up on the sizing. Okay, I got a whole bunch of double X and 3X shirts, right? We got like, I don't know, five mediums, five larges, four extra large, and the rest were like double X and triple X shirts. So everybody's got these huge shirts going on, and it was a funny thing,
And then the
you know.
shirts went missing up until right before the ceremony,
Yeah,
when the pictures were supposed to be taken and the cameras were supposed to go off. There were no shirts right before the big
that's
moment.
right. Where's the shirts? What happened to the shirts? That was funny. That was some funny times there.
What a great place to work, though. We had a lot of fun, and that hotel was very successful. I talk about that hotel a lot because it was very unique in the sense that we could come into work at 20% occupancy, and we could leave work at 100% and having to walk guests because an airline was delayed or there was some weather event somewhere in the country. And I remember, and this was before revenue management. This was you and I in the back office trying to adjust the occupancy. I mean, it was a mess, but we loved it. And, what we're talking about is this Country Inn and Suites is located on West Nursery Road in BWI. And we had a shuttle van that would go back and forth to the airport. That's how close to the airport we were. So a lot of business we would do would be people who are leaving their car overnight and going on a trip somewhere. So many times they would go to the airport and turn around, come right back to us and stay overnight.
Yeah,
Just depend on what was going on.
yeah, yeah. And you remember we used to sit in the back, like you said, those days where we come into work and we're at 20% occupancy. The anticipated expected occupancy for that day was 20%.
Yep.
Right? That's what's on the books, and give maybe 5 or 10 walk-ins, whatever. We're still at 20%, and we go, so I bet you $1 we're gonna sell out tonight. We're like, how do you figure it's 90 degrees outside? There's not a cloud in the sky. We're gonna sell out. I say we're
Absolutely.
gonna sell out. And then 7, 8, 9 o'clock, the airlines start calling, people start calling, my plane is canceled, and the next thing you know, ding. And what was so interesting about it, the operationally, your housekeeping staff, your room attendants for the next day were scheduled already, right? Because you're hoping for 20% occupancy. So you've got, 2 or 3 room attendants scheduled. That night you have one person on the front desk and everything's going smooth.
Yep.
7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, it's all fine. And then ding, 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 here they come. And the front desk person gets hit with ding, 70 check-ins all of a sudden within the hour. Then you're calling the executive housekeeper, Miss V, and you're saying, we need ladies, we need people to work. And oh, by the way, we need more food for breakfast. Let's go buy some OJ at 1 in the morning. And it was just crazy.
It was unbelievable. You'd see the shuttle pull up. You'd be sitting there going through counting your drawer or doing whatever. And the shuttle would pull up full of people coming back in with their suitcases. And you just let the evening shift go. So we used to say, tell him what he's won, Bob, an overnight shift. Because you think you're going home at 11, you're not going anywhere. You're overnight.
Tell him what he's won, Bob. An overnight shift. Wow. I forgot about that line.
Oh, man, I remember that. Our phone's going off. What's going on here? We've gone up 40% in occupancy. And I mean, I miss some of those days. You remember you used to tell us, get out, get in your car and drive around to the other hotels and Look at their parking lot. What's their occupancy look like tonight? You know, and we
Yeah,
still do that from time to time. I think my teams think I'm crazy and I tell them to do it, but everybody has these very complicated programs and reports and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But sometimes it makes sense to go back to the basics. How many cars are in my competitor's parking lot?
Right.
Are they busy? And who are these cars?
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's
yeah,
right.
we learned a lot of good principles back then that have served me well all the way until now.
Yeah, yeah, right on. Fun stuff there. Now, Travis, we're gonna want to talk about one other thing, then we'll take a break and then come back and reminisce and talk business some more.
Sure.
Tell me two or three things that have stuck with you that are your management pillars, right? That when you take over a team, when you start working with new folks, we're at a new hotel, whatever that is, what are three things, two or three things that are your management pillars?
Well, I think the first thing for me is really just to listen with an intent to understand, um, to really think about the team that you're leading and listen to the leaders and what they need assistance with and where their perspectives are. I think my leadership style has always been sort of tailored to each individual as opposed to a one size fits all. I just think everybody needs a little bit different in terms of their guidance, mentorship, listening. Sometimes they just need to be heard and work things out through their mind of how to deal with a certain situation in the business, either financial or, human resource or whatever it might be. They maybe just need an opportunity to talk to you about it. And so I like to really listen with the intent to understand and make sure that I demonstrate that I'm very actively involved in their growth and development in that way, and that I'm also flexible in terms of the business and the circumstances that our associates find themselves in are very different and very varied depending on what year we're in, what geography we're in, many different scenarios. So it's impossible for any leader to know everything. So you've really got to be humble in the sense that you want to take it in and then use some of the things you've learned in your career that have helped you to then help this individual that you're working with. So that's number one. Number two, I would say, is like really just beginning with the end in mind, no matter what we're doing. If our goal is to grow RevPAR significantly against our competitors, that's great. That's our ultimate goal. But what are those tactics that we're putting into the business on a day to day that are helping us begin with that end in mind? What are we ultimately trying to get to? And just being very clear in purpose to state our purpose clearly, and then uh, not apologize for that life-size vision that we're striving for, that we're going to achieve. And then I think, the last piece of it is just to give very clear and direct feedback. I just have never found that it does anybody any good to beat around the bush or to not share information meant to help an individual perform better, feel better, or find an opportunity that's better for them. We need to be very honest and direct in our communication as leaders. And I think, and then the last piece is, I think this is most of the experiences I've had are in the hospitality business. It's a fun business. It should be fun. If it's not fun, you're probably not in the right place. And the bottom line is there are a million other things we could all do where we'd probably make more money and have different kind of hours and stuff like that. You really got to be in hospitality because you love it and you feel it down here. And you really got to want to care for people and take care of people. And so there's been various times in my career where I felt like I've been detached from the people process of the business. And so I've made corrections to get back to that,
Mhm.
to make sure that if I'm not working with guests, welcoming them, taking care of them, if I'm not mentoring associates and helping associates through challenges, then I'm in the wrong place. I just think that what I really enjoy doing is being in the nitty gritty of the business with the people every day. And it's taken me a while to learn that, but I'm thrilled that I did, and very happy where I am currently.
Mhm. Right on. Folks, we're talking with Travis Breen with the Hyatt Centric in Austin here on Checking In. Travis, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes, 30 seconds. These commercials you're going to see all been produced by interns and students at the Leon Thomas Group. And when we come back, Travis, we'll talk some about your career as an educator at Point Park University and talk some more about your hotel in Austin. And of course, we'll reminisce some more about our days together at the Country Inn and Suites in BWI. Folks, you're watching Checking In. We'll be right back.
Announcing the newest show from the Leon Thomas Group, Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen.
Each week, we're going to have kids on the show in their home kitchen, showing us their culinary expertise right here on Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen. If you know of a kid that would be great to have on Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen, contact Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group.
His email address is leon@theleonthomasgroup.com.
That's leon@theleonthomasgroup.com.
Cooking with Kids in the Kitchen.
At Rod's Car Repairs, we work on all cars, old cars, new cars, and your car. Car Repairs by Rod.io.
Baked by Brianna has been your Baltimore hometown bakery since 1969. Located in Roxton Plaza, Baked by Brianna. Visit bakedbybrianna.io.
From the creative team that brought you The Browning Project and Dead by Morning comes a new thriller that will change the way you look at white-collar crime forever. Falling from the Sky.
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Welcome back to Checking In. Leon Thomas here with Travis with the Hyatt Centric in Austin. So Travis, early on in your introduction, you told us that you're teaching hospitality at Point Park University in Pittsburgh. Tell us about that. How long you been doing it? What are you teaching and how do you like it?
So I've been doing it for about a year and a half now. I'm teaching the introduction to the hospitality industry and then sales, revenue, and marketing planning in hospitality. Point Park has hospitality programming within the Roland School of Business, and they have online curriculum as well as in person. Have really been enjoying it. I love the opportunity in the academic setting to be able to help students understand what roles exist in the hospitality business. And I think what I've learned through this period of time is that if you're in the hospitality industry and you work for a company that does a really good job mentoring and developing people, then you likely are aware of some of the opportunities in the hospitality business, but you're not aware of all of the opportunities in the hospitality business. And so what I've learned in the academic space is it really helps someone establish a very clear plan for their career early on. And they get the opportunity to interface with individuals throughout the industry that they may not be able to interface with when they're working. For instance, if you're thinking about coming into the hospitality industry and you go to a hotel and you start working at the reception desk, it's highly likely that you will not have a sit down with the person that developed that hotel. Now, in the academic space, you will have that opportunity. If you go to work in a restaurant, you likely are very busy working, 3 to 11 shift, 7 to 3 shift, overnight, trying to just make it happen for the restaurant. You may not have the opportunity to sit down with the executive chef to understand how did they get where they are. You may not also understand the people that raised the money to open that restaurant. These are opportunities, I think, that become more clear when you are in academic programming and hospitality. This is what we're doing at Point Park. It's what I'm seeing some other programs do as well. And I'm very thankful that people are doing this, because when I started out in it, I don't remember these kinds of opportunities. I remember Cornell was the only school really doing anything related to hospitality. And that was sort of a different program. That was, you had to move there and operate out of their hotel. And it was sort of not available to everybody. And so what I like about our program at Point Park is it's available to everyone, globally, domestically, anywhere. Anybody who wants to learn more about hospitality has that opportunity. And they learn all aspects of the business. And, I think what I get the most out of are the student-led discussion groups where questions get thrown out that I have no idea of knowing what these questions are going to be. And then I'm more of a facilitator and helping guide the discussion. And oftentimes I find myself learning from the students as well. Mm-hmm. So clearly I'm the professor, but I'm also learning just as much as the students in these opportunities. So I really have enjoyed it immensely. And I think it's just given me a well-rounded thought process when it comes to our industry. And if anything, it's taught me how much I don't know about our business as it continues to evolve. Mm-hmm. And it's made me incredibly keen on learning more about, the next, 6 months of our business, let alone the next couple of years of, what are technologies like AI going to do to our business, to the process of the guest journey and things like that? How does that impact service? How do we embrace it and roll with it versus hide from it and run the other direction? Mm-hmm. That will never work, by the way. We need to embrace it and roll with it in the way that the industry has embraced digital marketing and the internet over the years, and the increase of mobile traffic to our hotels. Those kinds of shifts in the business, I think, are going to be dwarfed by what we're about to see with artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. And I think getting students ready for that. How do I prepare for that? How do I use it? How does it become a tool in my toolbox versus something that I'm overwhelmed by or perhaps afraid to interact with? So it adds a different dynamic, and that translates as well to my current team at the Hyatt Centric, is always pushing them to think differently about the business. What are we going to do? How are we going to look at this approach? If we're trying to market ourselves, how are we showing up in the new technology on the AI, and what are we doing to make sure that our hotel is positioning itself in such a way to be, futuristic in terms of our process and procedure. And then most of all, a place that's just embracing all aspects of our industry and the people that are in it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, you're in a really good spot, but so are the students, right? So because they have you that understands the business, but also you're a great educator, and you can blend everything that you just talked about into a great experience for them that I'm sure they'll look back on, years later and say, that guy, Mr. Breen, he was good. It was a blast having him as my professor. Now, your program at Point Park University, that's in Pittsburgh, but it's online.
That's correct.
It's online. So I think what's their website, pointpark.edu. They can go there, but also we've been showing your email address, and I'm sure you wouldn't mind anybody getting in touch with you there that has a question and wants to learn more about it. Travis's email is travis.breen@hyatt.com. All right. So Travis, let's go back to, we'll finish the show on some fun stuff. All right. So a guy a company that I work with, Vista Host Hotel Management, Michael Harrell was the CEO of the company, and he had what we affectionately called a Mr. Harrell list, an MVH list, right? And there was actually a list that someone put together in like a little pamphlet of, you will never do these things if you work at a Vista Host Hotel. You can't do this, must do that, all of those things. And you and I used to joke about them, laugh about them at our hotel at the Baltimore airport, and say, Mr. Harrell never said, boom, do this, don't do that. And so I got to tell you one that came up. I'm walking through a Safeway the other day, and I was actually in there to buy bean pie. And we'll talk about bean pie later. That's one of our signature questions. We'll get to that in a second. But I'm walking through the produce, and they have potatoes wrapped in aluminum foil. So I remember one of MVH's things was don't wrap potatoes in foil. And used to ask people, name a food that goes good with aluminum foil. Name something. Name a food that's a perfect match for aluminum foil. You're like, nothing. Well, why do you wrap them in aluminum foil then? And this one hotel, he goes, who wrapped this? We don't do this. We don't wrap it in foil. Don't do this. And the young lady says, we didn't wrap them. It came that way. They came that way. He's like, you mean we paid extra for this? No, tell me no. Tell me no. So, BBYE bagels, bananas, yogurt, and eggs, right? One of his things. Do you have any, would your team or people that you've worked with before say, oh, don't do that. Travis doesn't like that. No, don't do that because Travis doesn't like that. Do you have a Travis don't like that? What's one of yours? Do you have any?
I do. What drives me crazy is when associates go out for coffee and they come back to the hotel with the advertisement of another hotel and they're walking around our hotel. And I have made many associate put a styrofoam cover over it. Sometimes I go to their desk and I take tape out and I put the tape over the logo. It's unbelievable. And they know that now, and they laugh about it when they come in and they have a coffee. Sometimes they overdo it and they wrap it up in bubble tape and show it to me and say, "Is this okay?"
So wait, is your coffee that bad that they have to go to another place to get coffee? What are your guests drinking? What are we doing here?
It's the irony of the situation. We have great coffee. And we are encouraging them to drink our coffee, but they still leave the building and they go out to the coffee shops. And I think it has to do with the weather in Austin. It's beautiful out and they want to get out and move around. And then they come back in, but I at least would want them to come in with a Hyatt-centric mug, something talking about Hyatt Hotels Corporation, something related to what we're doing. So that's one of those little things. But I'll tell you, Michael Vernon Harrell, he won the Lifetime Achievement Award for Hilton. So a lot of this stuff is as funny as it is, it also makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Oh, it does. It does for sure. Yeah.
I remember he used to tell everybody, you told me that he used to call all of the GMs very early in the morning. And if he reached them, and if he reached their voicemail and they weren't there, then he'd let them know that was good because they were out talking to the guests. But if they came back and they weren't there, they might as well take a PTO day because they've missed all of the guests in the morning and they've all checked out and gone home.
Right. Mr. Harold, it's 9 o'clock. I just got to work. I see you called. Well, you might as well go home now. Nobody in your hotel. They're gone.
And he's not wrong.
Too late. You can go golfing now. Come back about 5. Go on golfing.
I've used that so many times I can't even remember now thinking about that. When you come into a hotel, it's typically a hotel you just took over. You're trying to understand what's going on. And you got a breakfast room full of people and you got nobody working. And but then come 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're fully staffed.
No
nobody in the hotel, but you're fully staffed and ready to go.
Right. Yeah, that was something. Yeah. But I will tell you this. We'll get to the fun questions here in a second. All right. So one of the most disappointing parts of my career, it's actually a one moment piece, right? The biggest disappointment that I had was with Jarrett Conway, who also worked with us, and his thing was music. And he was a part of the Baltimore Ravens, or I think they still called the Baltimore Colts band, although it was the Ravens that were the football team. He was a percussionist, and he was our front office manager. And we talk about taking care of people, right? And Jared said, I have rehearsals every Wednesday night. I got to be at rehearsal. I said, yeah, okay, as long as your staff is covered, go ahead. As long as your desk is covered, go ahead. I don't care what you do. I don't care. And this one particular Wednesday, and I don't know what was going on in my stupid head. And again, I'm sharing here. This is like crazy transparency here. One of the biggest disappointments was he couldn't go to rehearsal that day. I refused to work the front desk. Somebody called off sick or whatever, and he said, I got to go to. You got to do a better job of managing your team. You can't manage your team. You can't do side work. Sorry, ain't happening. Then I look back on that, man. I'm like, Leon, what were you doing? You just had to work desk for like 3 hours. What if it was 8 hours? Who cares? He was working his tail off at the front desk, and oh man, I've talked with him about it several times. I said, Jarrett, man, I'm sorry, but he's back in the band, by the way. He's back a part of the Ravens band, and he's having a blast. But remember at that party, he had this little snare drum solo.
It was phenomenal. It was the highlight of the opening.
I've never heard a snare, just one drum, folks, not the whole set, not all that, just one snare drum, and man, did he rip it up.
He did such a great job. He had such a great attitude as well. You know, coming into that hotel, we had our challenges in the hotel. Anybody does when you're first couple years of getting a hotel off the ground, and you know the teams are getting beat up by guests. They're getting beat up by work hours. They're, you know, things that are happening. And I think what helped him immensely is he just had a really good positive attitude every day he came.
He did. Yeah. And he's still working in the business also. We'll have to get us all together, reminisce. Yes. I talked with him some. I just talked with him a few weeks ago, and still doing good. Works for one of the PMS management companies. That's great. So he's really doing good there. All right, Travis, it's now time for our 3 signature questions of the show. All right. So now there's actually 3, but we just don't want to change the video. That's all. There's actually 3. All right.
Love your music.
Thank you. Here's the first signature question. This one, I already know the answer to it, and I shouldn't even ask this question. But for the benefit of others, I'm going to ask. And we may just take a side tour on this one too. Have you ever had a Maryland crab cake?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And where'd you get it? Do you remember where you got it? I mean, you lived in Maryland, so.
Yes. I mean, I remember quite a few different places. I like Mike's Crab House out in the Eastern Shore area. That was really good. Jimmy Cantler's obviously is a household name in the Annapolis area. I always enjoyed that. Ship In as well was always great.
Yeah.
So Obreki's, I like Obreki's too. Yeah. There was one called Canton Dockside. I think it since has closed. My wife tried to go back there a little while ago, but man, I love that. I loved getting together with people and sitting out and doing it the old-fashioned way with the mallets and the Old Bay and
all the steamed crabs and the crab cake. Yep, you've done it all. I knew that. Now, what about Chinese food? Where'd you ever had some good Chinese food?
Oh, that would have been Mr. Charlie Ray's place,
Mr.
right
Charlie
there.
Ray,
West Nursery Road.
Mr. Leo,
the spicy lo mein there at
Charlie's
Mr.
Cafe.
Charlie Ray's.
Yeah, that's right. We called him Mr. Charlie Ray. Yeah, he'd make fresh lo mein for you. He loved us. All right.
The beauty of it is, it was always that lo mein was always spicy.
Yeah,
you know, it's very hard when I go out and try to order spicy lo mein, because people take one look at me and they say, this guy can't handle spicy.
Right.
So in his restaurant, there was no judgment. He gave it to me exactly how it was designed, and it was fantastic.
Right. All right. Here's the quick detour.
Yeah.
Travis, want to go get some lunch? Let's go to Bill Dotson's. Let's go down to Bill Dotson's. folks.
Some damn good barbecue, that's for sure.
Man, some good barbecue there.
Yeah.
They're
Remember
close
those
to.
collard greens, Leon?
Oh,
I grow collard greens now because of that. I've been growing them for a long
really?
time. I smoke barbecue as well, and but I grow those collard greens because of the time that we went there and
Yeah.
how good they were. I kept saying to you, how did he make these that good? And then it's like, he won't tell you because it's a family recipe. But
Right.
man, and I've been growing them, and Kelly makes them, and
Man.
all kind of different spices and seasonings. I love collard greens.
Oh, you gotta. Too bad, y'all. Fans, you can't go to Bill Dodson's anymore. You can't
No.
go, and the service was questionable to okay, except that one day when we needed a place to eat, and he said, "Let me make a phone call for you." And he has us go around the back to this, like, "Are you sure it's safe to go here?" "Yeah, come on in." Remember, we go around and up some steps, and I remember our friend saying, "I'll take macaroni." Macaroni, macaroni and what? That was.
I remember you had it catered at the hotel.
Yeah,
And
that's
it was
right.
just absolutely fantastic. People going
Yeah.
back for thirds, not even seconds. They were going back.
That's good stuff.
Wow.
Good stuff. All right, here's our second question. Have you ever had bean pie?
Yes, I have had bean pie.
Oh, a minute. Hold on. Let me give you a single shot and go ahead and answer that one because I'm gonna send this clip. Miranda's not with us today, but she has to hear this. Have you ever? Here it is again. Have you ever had bean pie?
Yes, I have had bean pie.
There you have it, folks. Travis Breen has had bean pie. Miranda, it's real.
Yes, it is.
It's real. Now, Travis, speaking of bean pie, we're going to show you the connection with bean pie and AI.
Okay.
There's that's like a song in itself, bean pie and AI. We actually wrote a song with the help of AI about bean pie. Here it is. We'll play a portion of it now.
What advice does your 20-year-old self need to know? That's the signature question that ends the show. Crab cakes come up before we say goodbye, and we also ask, have you ever had bean pie? Bean pie rocks, bean pie rules. So good, you'll take it to school. Bean pie, tasty and sweet. Bean pie can't be beat. It's better than apple, pecan and sweet potato too. Don't even mention pumpkin, that just won't do. Give bean pie a chance, you just might agree. But if you don't like bean pie, that means more for me. Bean pie rocks, bean pie rules. So good, you'll take it to school. Bean pie, tasty and sweet. Bean pie can't be beat. MKL PhD has never had it and thinks it can't be. She says it's a joke by her checking in co-host LT.
There you have it.
I love that. That's a catchy tune.
That's the catchy tune
I
done.
like it.
And AI helped do that. Right? The music, the words, the music, the lyrics, the beat, everything. Right? Now, it wasn't completely AI, it came back and kicked out some words and we're like, no, that doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
bean pie and drink orange juice. No, shut up. That doesn't add up, right? But here's the use of technology there. Now, folks, if you want to hear the rest of the song, right, go to YouTube and do a search for this bean pie anthem. Do a search for bean pie anthem, and you can check out the rest of the song. There's actually a video there also that talks about how we got into this whole bean pie thing anyway on this show. All right, Travis, our last conversation piece. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
I think I would just say be a sponge and understand that everybody has a perspective you can learn from. And there's no one way to structure a career in hospitality. And just ask a lot of questions and remind yourself that typically the person that asks the most questions in a room is probably the person that's going to go the furthest, not the person that acts like they know everything. And I think that when I was 20, I probably, like everybody else, what's next? Got to do this, got to go here, got to do that. And I think I just would have settled down a little bit and asked a lot more questions and been a lot more introspective on the feedback from others. And I think that some of that comes with experience and time, but I think it's that's the advice I would give, is just slow down, listen, ask good questions, and just understand that everybody's got a path. Everybody's got something you can learn from.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I would do.
I like it. Great advice. Travis, man, it's been great catching up with you.
You too, Leon. Anytime. I loved it.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you in the green room right after the show ends. I'll catch up with you real quick there. Folks, thanks for watching Checking In. I'm Leon. Our other host, Miranda, is unable to be with us today, but we look forward to seeing you on the next Checking In. Thanks for watching.